All right, welcome back, C-Fam, to Cricket for Americans. Nick here.
Gabe.
And your wicketkeeper is finally back in Studio A. Gabe's in Studio A. And I just got back probably like 20 minutes ago, and I'm like having withdrawals, my friend. You guys have no idea how jealous I am. I am so beyond jealous. And I'm conflicted because I'm with my family having a good time on vacation. And, I was there like 95% of the time, 95% of the time in the live room chats. But I'm so conflicted because I got to have family time. But we had this first test match going. And the marathon man, Gabe, he is going all the way through. I was so jealous. But thank you so much for so many people that have discovered CFA. So many people have known about us and joining the live stream. We are here today to start a new segment after each test match or ODI match or T20 match that we cover, that we have time to do this. And we're going to call this our Three Wickets. We're going to go over three things to sum up the entire match. This is not going to be nearly as long as the live streams, obviously. Three things. What did we like about the test match? What did we dislike? And what did we learn? So let's go off right at the bat. And Gabe, you watched the entire thing. You are an animal. Your first test match, you watched the entire thing. I'll let you start off any way you want, or you can go right into one of your three.
Test cricket is amazing, okay? It is the two things I love the most. It honestly is. If you would combine Major League Baseball playoffs, that's exactly what it is. Because you know how the playoffs is a series? Well, best of 5 or best of 7, same thing here, but it's 5. They got to play all 5 unless, they get rained out or whatever. But it's amazing, bro. And it is a roller coaster of emotions. Oh my God, bro. I was high. I was low. Let me just tell you this morning. And when you go back, I know you haven't had time to rewatch our live stream. But when we lost, and I say we because I got the West Indies colors. If you guys follow us on Instagram, you know I already bought the hat. But when we lost 3 wickets in like 15 minutes, bro, my jaw just dropped. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Listen, the bias was absolutely there. Everybody's seen it. I was trying to remain like neutral, but you can't. And I'm like, first of all, I'm rooting for the West Indies. And it didn't start off well. Second of all, Nick is going to tear me up because Archer's an animal. Oh my gosh, this dude went bananas, absolutely bananas. Now I see why he's so coveted. I mean, he did not have, that very first inning was horrible for him. But this second inning, starting with his hitting too, because I didn't realize Archer can rake, bro. He put up like 20 runs. You know what I'm saying?
Not in the first inning. He did a duck the first inning. I mean, the first inning on both sides was not his match at all. He obviously had a whole lot of rust. But this guy, it's funny because my love affair for this guy as a fan started just because you were hating him so much. I'm like, I got to go on the opposite side. I got to be the antithesis. But this guy, he can seriously bowl. In the States, we call it ball. This guy can bowl, no joke. He took 3 of the guys out at the very beginning. He got 2 outs early on, making my man sweat. I love it.
Bro, had me sweating. And then, Anderson didn't get the other one. It was Wood that got the 3rd wicket today. And then they brought Archer back in, and he gets another one. And honestly, bro, there was another one he would have gotten, but it was a no ball. And then there was one that was so close. But every time he went in there, I was panicking. And I'm just like, how many balls this guy bowled 17 overs today. I'm like, how many overs can he bowl? Because you got to do the math in your head or whatever. Okay. If he's bowled 15 overs, or actually what? So 17, 7 times 6, 42, right? 6, what's that? 102 pitches. Oh, bowls, excuse me. Bro, his arms got to be higher. It's got to be jello. And I'm like, man, and like nothing. And he threw some nasty, when I say nasty balls, bro, nasty bouncers, nasty yokers. I'm pretty sure he broke Campbell's toe because at the end, Campbell was hobbling from side to side. And that was such a gutty performance, bro. Because, that's not one of the 1-3. If I learned something, it was that he was an animal, but I kind of knew it. It was just that, as I was going for the Aussies, obviously, in the test, because I'm a fan of the test, I was watching the show. I felt like he came in and he was headhunting, and he was headhunting here too. But I realize now how that's a part of the game. You know what I mean?
Throwing the bouncers. So as we're doing this, we're conceiving this as we're going, ideas we're going. Let's do our three things, and in each thing, one for each side. So you start off with what you learned. You learned about Archer from the England side. What did you learn about the West Indies?
The West Indies. I learned that it's so tough. I learned that the West Indies are resilient, a resilient team, but man, they've got so much talent. There was a kid there today, Blackwood, who was 5 short, bro, 5 short of a century. And a lot of people say he couldn't play test cricket or whatever, that he was, more of a flash in the pan. He was more T20, and he proved that he was. I mean, I don't know who to give this series to. It has to be either Gabriel. I mean, if I had a player of the series, it'd either be Gabriel, because this guy had the Pfeiffer today, okay? Michelle Pfeiffer. He had his 5, well, not today, yesterday, sorry. That's why they call it the Pfeiffer, Michelle Pfeiffer. He had his 5 wickets yesterday. The day before that, or the first inning, I'm sorry, he had 4. So he ended up with 9 wickets for the whole tournament. This guy bowling is an absolute animal. But yeah, the talent. That's what I learned, honestly. The talent that the West Indies has. And, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So those are my 2 tidbits from each side.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Gabriel, like you said, won man of the match. This guy, for lack of a better term, was a disruption. I mean, he disrupted the plans of the English side. And it wasn't just in one of the innings, like you said, 4 and then 5. I mean, this guy, he's like, what else you got? He made Archer look like he was in the minor leagues or something. That guy was unbelievable. And of course, I didn't get to see it all, but I'm also a huge stats guy, numbers guy. So I've been looking up the stat card or whatever. Unbelievable. So what did I learn from the West Indies side? These guys are, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, these guys look young and they look hungry. They were not the favorites to win this test match, but they were able to catch England off guard. Stokes made a horrible decision by batting first, catch England off guard in the beginning, and then basically the match was over. It was just a matter of keeping at it and keeping on the pressure. And they still had 4 more wickets to go by the time they reached their goal and they able to win the match. So they are young, they are hungry, and they are a team that if you're a West Indies fan, you are feeling super good about this. Like you said, Blackwood, you got Dorwich, you got Chase. I don't know much about the team, but they look like young guys to me, and they look like they're going somewhere. They got Gabriel. They got Roach, who we were told beforehand is a star, and he didn't really get to show himself too much. And they got their captor, Holder, who can take out 6 wickets in the first inning. They are a dangerous team, in my opinion. And England, they have one of the best squads. So they really showed something. What I learned from the England side is that the England side has, in my opinion, just from this match, just from the numbers, they don't seem to have any superstars, but they have a lot of really good cricketers. Obviously, Ben Stokes is the captain, in the temporary captain right now. But this guy, if England won, this guy had to be the man of the match because he was taking out wickets. He scored 40s in both of his turns up to bat, I think, or up at the bat. I think got like 43 and then 47. He did everything, and I think he got like 2 or 3 wickets in the second inning to kind of help England, him and Archer, keep England in the game before it was just too late. So those are the 2 things I learned. What was something you did not like, or maybe a few things you did not like?
What I did not like the fact that as I'm watching this game, I feel bad almost at a point because Ben Stokes, obviously, he's just temporary captain right now. And, Joe Root is not there right now. His wife was having a baby or whatnot, and they were second guessing all his decisions. Like, even if you go on the ESPN app, the very first title is, Stokes doesn't regret not playing Edward. What's the other boy's name? Edward. I'm gonna want to make sure I get
Stuart Broad, you mean?
Yeah. Stuart Broad. Sorry, not Edward. Stuart Broad. And I'm like, everyone, Monday morning quarterback. I guess it's like that in every single sport. Everybody wants to second guess the decisions. Now, to the reality is, and most of the people in our chat let us know, Stuart Broad should have been in there. Okay,
they're all saying it.
Why wasn't he in there? I don't know, but I don't think that was Ben Stokes' decision alone. There was another selection committee, like they said. He has he has an opportunity to make, to voice his opinion, but it's not only his opinion. So I learned, and that should have been another thing that I learned, how much responsibility is on the captain of each individual team. You're a part of the selection committee. You're a part of the coin flip. You're a part of, making a decision. Do we bat first or do we bowl first? You bring in bowlers, you take out bowlers. At one point today, everybody's like, why hasn't Stokes put himself in? And then I reminded people, hey, remember he took off his shoe? He was having foot problems in that first inning when he was bowling. He might still be hurt. And, to their credit, but he came in and got wickets right away. So I know why they wanted him in there, but he was probably injured. But my point is, there's so much responsibility put on the captain. I don't think that this loss is on Stokes' shoulder. I know what you're saying, that it was over after he didn't bat first, but even the announcers were saying, the Sky was saying that he should have I'm sorry. The Sky was saying bat first, but the ground was saying bowl first, or vice versa. Sorry. It was just too much on him. What I did not like about that's on the England side. What I did not like about the West Indies side, when you watch the West Indies side, you're right. There's some youth there, okay? Some people got themselves out. Blackwood, as much as he was the hero today, he was the GOAT in their first inning because he got himself out. And even today, okay, I felt like the leadoff hitter who the other day, Craig, there's
Brathwaite.
Yeah, Brathwaite. Craig Brathwaite got himself out. So, they need a little bit more patience there. Okay, they need a little bit more patience there. Also, everybody kept saying it. You should have bought a spinner. You should have bought a spinner. That could have came back to bite them in the butt, and luckily it didn't. But you know, if all you're bringing is pace bowlers or whatnot, and the conditions aren't, don't favor it, you're going to be in trouble. Sometimes just to throw guys off, you want to throw in a spinner in there. So I thought that's
what you saying that they should have had a change of pace.
I like it, bro. They were hitting us with the puns today. It was awesome because one's name was Chase, the other one is Hope. Is like you're chasing Hope. They were awesome in the chat with the puns.
I had a pun ready to go for the Hope one too, because when you look at the scorecard, Hope I think got a duck at one point, or he got 9. And so when they started off earlier, it was Brooks that got a duck. But when they started off earlier on and they were getting wickets after wickets, Hope was a third man up. He did not give them any hope. That was going to be my bad joke. But anyways.
Yes, and I mean, dude, it was like, oh, man. But those are the two things that I didn't like, or decisions that I didn't like from both sides of the team. You know what I mean? Again, I don't think all the falls on Ben Stokes. To your point, he was the superstar of that team. I think there are other superstars on there, like Anderson. He's a bowler. Okay, the batting is a little shaky on the England side. They mentioned that or whatever, but Anderson bowled very well. Archer's a superstar, but other than that, guys weren't helping out, and there were so many drops. They did not help out Ben Stokes, honestly.
And that's my point. Let me clear up 2 things. First of all, I definitely don't think Ben Stokes lost it for them by choosing to bat first, because this guy did everything you can. And I absolutely hate in any kind of sport where there's one call that just ruins the entire series, the entire game. No, you had the entire game to put yourself in a better position to win. So you can't just blame one person. But that's my thing I'm going to say for the England side. What I did not like that decision. And even as a novice, from what our audience is telling us, our viewers are telling us about, they were all saying they should bowl first. England should bowl first. From what they were saying, it made complete sense. But sometimes when you have a lot of extra time to overanalyze things, you kind of think yourself into a bad situation. You overthink yourself. So I definitely don't think he lost the game for him. But the other thing I didn't like is how England, they were just flat. They were flat in that first inning. They were flat with the bats. They gave a 300 in their second inning, but I looked it up. The average test match score, according to one website, is about 324. So even though they got a 3 spot in their second inning and some change, they're still in that average territory. So they didn't really hit the cover off the ball, as we say in baseball. The other thing I want to clear up about England is when I said there's no superstars, that's just according to the little amount of cricket I saw during this test match and according to the results. In this match, we did not see any superstars. I'm also not the kind of sports fan where I am reactionary. I see something once, even though the whole history tells me something different, and I say, test in England is dead. I'm not going to go that far. But in this series, in this match, their superstars were not apparent. The thing I didn't like about the Windy side, and there's really not a lot to dislike because they won the match. They had the long layoff like England had, and they were able to come into England even though there was no fans there, and were able to do what they were supposed to do. But it seemed like they had to rely on a few guys, and I'm sure that's what happens in test match. I'm sure not everyone can be the best they can always, but you're talking about Blackwood, you're talking about Chase, Dorwich, Brathwaite, Holder, and Gabriel. Those were the guys, for the most part, that were carrying the brunt, and they were really pushing them forward. But again, they were not the favorites. So there's really not a lot to dislike about the Windy side. The other thing we're not even in that yet, but I really did appreciate reading the chats in the chat room of your live streams and seeing how, at least from what I had seen, maybe you saw more uglier things, how cohesive the two sides of fan bases were. They were not too nasty. They were not too unrealistic. And especially the West Indies fans, they were nervous near the end, but they were just so happy to see what their team was doing for them.
Right. And I think that, I don't think, and somebody said, yo, this is unbelievable that your first test match, you got to see not just a great, not just a great test match, but literally a historic one, because the West Indies came in as underdogs, and to win in England, you don't really win away from home. That just doesn't happen that often. So, both sides were awesome. Both sides were very cordial. There were a couple people that, made comments here and there, but that's, going back and forth. That's friendly banter. You know what I mean? Totally. But yeah, no. You're right about that. To our third
something
thing
that you learned, or something that you liked.
Something that I liked was seeing how gutty both teams were. I love watching gutty performances. And I mean to say that by, you absolutely knew that today, both Archer and Stokes were hurt. And they went out there and gutted it out. You could see, and you go back in the replay, I think it was the first inning of when England was bowling, they had to take off Stokes' shoe, bro. He hurt himself, and after that, he didn't bowl anymore. And today, a couple times, you saw him wins, but he put, as a captain, you know what I mean? And he went there. As soon as he went in there, he got himself some wickets. That's a gutty performance. Archer, you could tell at one point, like, why hasn't Archer bowled in a while? He played well, and he was limping and noticeably limping, so he probably got hurt as well, pulled something. We forget. You mentioned it. These guys have all had a long layoff. After 5 days of test cricket, 5 consecutive days, the soreness is going to kick in. The aches and pains are going to kick in. And, they absolutely gutted it out. I like that performance. I like that they battled. Hats off to Ben Stokes. Somebody said, hey, I know Ben Stokes is number 2 or considered the second in the world all-rounder. Of course, number 1 is on the West Indies side, Holder. From this performance alone, Ben Stokes had a better performance. Like you said, he put up 90 total runs. I think he ended up with 3 wickets and 4 in the first day, so 7 wickets. The guy played well. Some of his other teammates let him down, but that is what it is. What did I like about the West Indies side? Bro, how these guys battled. And it never seemed like the moment was too big for them. There was also some gutty performances. I'm not sure if it's bruised or broken, but Archer hit Campbell with a Yorker, and he had to leave, bro. Okay, injury, out, substitution, whatever. They had to pull him out, and he came back at the end because guess what? If not, it's bowlers that are going to be hitting, and he walked back out there. You could see him also noticeably limping between runs every time they exchange sides, and he gutted it out. Wait, it gets better. He gets back in there, and what happens next? He gets hit in the face with a bouncer. I'm like, oh man, and everybody's like, concussion substitution. I guarantee you the doctor came out and said, yo, Kate, do not come next to me. Get out of here. I'm fine. He didn't want any parts of the concussion protocol, and they gutted it out, man. So I liked how much spirit these two teams showed and how much they fought. I mean, it was fabulous, bro. Fabulous. How about you?
It is fabulous to hear you do the recap. I mean, this guy, he's busting out stats. He's busting out names. He's busting out like the exact number of wickets taken. And this is not me saying that he wasn't able to pull that stuff before, but I'm just super impressed. So one thing that I liked overall is how my man Gabe carried the ship. I mean, he steered it to the land of success. Thank you so much for that.
Appreciate it.
As far as the West Indies side, I liked, from what I was able to see, getting to know all these players. They have some young, fun, cool guys on their team. But I have to say, on the West Indies side, the thing I like the most, even though he only got the 1 wicket in the second inning, is Jason Holder. I mean, this guy is a beast. This guy is just, he's their captain for a reason. He gets 6 wickets in the first inning, and he gets 1 in the second inning. His like you said, his bat was not there. I think he got a total of like 19 runs or something. That's just not going to cut it. But he is the captain for a reason, and he led his team to victory, which you've got to give him a whole lot of credit. And then Gabriel, obviously, he was a stud. The thing I liked on the England side was, like you already mentioned it, Ben Stokes. As much as I love Archer, he's the man. Ben Stokes was the man for England. He did it all on all facets of the game. This guy, and like you said, he gutted it out. When I think of gutted it out, and I know you're going to hate this, I think of Kurt Schilling in the red bloody sock.
Oh!
I mean, that guy gutted it out. Oh, it brings chills to me, and I'm not even a Red Sox fan. But it's beautiful to have Test cricket back. And, it's not really back for us because we've never seen it before. But it's cool to see in our journey of cricket, to see it's here, to see the excitement for people, even though the fans aren't there for this. And that is probably the thing I like the most, is that just the cricket's here. These players, they weren't worried about COVID. They weren't worried about this or that. They wanted to play the game. They wanted to do their job. And I feel like both sides should be commended greatly. So those are our thoughts on this match. There's so much more that we could say. That we had some ducks in this match. We had so many different things going on. There is so much we can say, but we are just so glad. And I am so honored and humbled that you were able to join Gabe on the ride. Some of you guys were there for every single day, leaving comments. We appreciate that so much. And we are going to plan to continue to do as much as we can with the time that we have, especially before the school year starts.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people were also asking us, are we going to do T20? Are we going to do, a lot of people are asking, what's my favorite form? Until I see all three, I can't tell you. I can tell you right now, I don't know what's going to be able to top me seeing a historic victory for my Windies team, okay? Because, this is how big this thing was. So, I mean, and this game had everything, by the way. Almost run outs, which I was freaking out about, bro. Oh, they almost got ran out twice. I'm like, what are you
almost
doing?
Got your century, man.
Bro, almost got my century, 5 runs away from it. I saw several 50s. I saw ducks. I mean, I saw wickets taken in pretty much every way except for being ran out. I saw catches. I saw it being bowled out. I mean, the stumps being taken off. It was just an amazing match. I'm pretty sure not every single test match is this exciting and this competitive and this what am I trying to say? It's not this historic, but this one was. So, but yeah, we're gonna do T20, we're gonna do ODIs, and we'll see. But yeah, I'm just so happy right now that the decision went my way. You know what I mean? Oh, got the colors. Actually, on Instagram, go follow us on Instagram. Some people were asking about it. It's boring_reviews. It's the same one for both channels. Boring Reviews or Cricket for Americans. Same thing on Twitter. I already posted. I got my West Indies hat today. That's how I celebrated my victory. Woo! And I paid for that extra $10 for express shipping. It'll be here soon, Daddy. Woo! I can't wait.
Don't forget to come back for more live streams in the future. Don't forget to check out these watch parties that Gabe did most of this past week for this test match. And don't forget to check out my video where I got my first test wicket. Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, I appreciate that so much. But with all that being said, until next time.
That's 6 runs.